my quilting. I might be doing some sewing right now because the waters are very calm, and it's a great time to be downstairs sewing because it's not much to look at, kind of foggy, kind of dreary, so yeah, no view today. Might as well sew. So let's get started. So let's walk in through the back door and get out of this noisy space. That's better. It's a little quieter inside. This is our salon. This is our living space where we, in our dining room table. And this is my chair here. It's my husband's chair. And I'm keeping it real. I'm not cleaning anything up before this video. So if you catch a stray dust bunny or two, that's just reality. This is where I sit and sew. I have this extra strong light if I'm going to do any hand sewing, like burying threads and things like that. Go up a couple stairs here. I'll back up so you can see that. From this level, there's 2 steps up. This is our kitchen, which is called a galley on a boat. Da-da-da-da. I would say this is where the magic happens, but I am not a very good cook, so there's no magic happening here. This is the pilot house with my husband driving the boat because we are underway. Here's a pile of quilts that need to be photographed, and my computer where I'm looking at more quilts because that's what I do all day. And this is the stairs down to my studio. They are very, very steep, and you have to hold on to the railing. Yeah, if it looks like it's straight down, it's because it is. So we'll go downstairs into the dark. And at the bottom of the stairs, you make a right turn, and there it is. This is my sewing studio. It is the guest bedroom on the boat. Walking through the doorway, you can see it's very small. The end of the bed comes down to a step that's not very big. Here's my foot for perspective. The side of the bed is only this narrow triangular space on both sides. The walls are at an angle because these are the sides of the hull. So here's a close-up of my actual stitching space with this Juki sewing machine. It sits on a custom table that's wedged between the side of the bed and the wall. My husband made that. And I sit on this adjustable stool. There's really not even enough room for a chair with a back on it, and I have all my tools hanging from hooks and things. This space up here is where I store strips sorted by color. Behind me, kind of hard to see, I have to really back up, that's the shower for this bedroom. There's actually 2 doors to this shower. I know that's weird. I'll open the door, and inside the shower, this is where I pile loose stuff, like when I have batting, it gets piled up in here because it doesn't matter if it falls over, and we don't use this shower so it stays dry. On the bed is a piece of plywood, and then on top of the plywood is my cutting mat. So this is a pretty good height because of the step. Let's see if I can capture that. When I stand here to work, this is about the height of my hip, so it's about the height of a kitchen counter, so it's a really good, I can work right here and I'm not bending over. And to iron, there's my cordless iron. Cordless because I can't afford to have wires draped around a moving vessel because I could trip on them. So it's actually plugged in way back over there, but the iron itself is completely cordless, which is nice. My ironing board I store right here. It's just a little portable jobby, and I actually just lie it flat. I don't even use its little feet. It's kind of stained and ugly, but hey, it works. So it is also now at counter height. And then when I need to cut, I just whip it right back over here lean it against the floor. I try to use every inch of wall space. Here is where I have some of my rulers hung up. Whoop, there's the TV. More rulers, they're hung from command hooks. Okay, fabric storage. So up in this corner, I have a couple of small boxes. They're about the size of 2 shoe boxes, maybe? Plastic storage. And down here I have 2 larger tubs, just for perspective. So these are yards and half yards folded up. So it's not huge. And then this bucket where I put my scraps, trimmings, things that are getting thrown away. And then these weird, messy shelves, which are like really shallow, odd shape, because, boats have odd shapes. Over here, I showed you the shower, which was on the other side of the bed. This is the rest of the bathroom. So there's the potty and the sink, and I have in here, which is a tiny, tiny room, more fabric storage. These are projects. These are project bags. And a handful, like the first thing you see here, these are all my panels that are folded up. But everything else is a project, or a whip. And then over here, some more scrap storage, and this bucket is all off-white pieces, and these are 12-inch blocks. And then going back into below the bed, there are 4 built-in drawers under the bed. The 2 on this side this one belongs to my husband. This one has spare linens, so there's some towels and sheets in there. And this top one has more, mostly scrap storage. I cut my scraps into 3.5 and 4.5 inch strips, so that's one of these. And there's some squares cut. And these are some of my Rainbow Scrap Challenge blocks are stored in these boxes. It's a pretty good sized drawer. And then below it is a slightly smaller drawer, and in here I have all of the pieces and parts that have been donated to Covered in Love. I keep them separate, so when I'm working on them, I don't mix them up with my own stash, because I'm trying to honor that the donors want them to go to Covered in Love. So there's lots of various bags, but that's packed pretty full. Okay, across the hallway from the sewing room / guest room, these are the stairs that go upstairs to the main living area of the boat. The opposite direction is our bedroom, which is a little bit bigger. This is a queen size bed, and the other one is a double bed, and there's a little more space on each side, and the room is rectangular. I do store a few things in here temporarily. This is my dresser, and on top of it right now, sorry for the glare from the window, these are all the quilts that are stacked with their backings and their batting, and they're ready to be basted. Because and then you can see my little can of basting spray there. This is the room where I baste my quilts. I actually lay them out on top of our queen size bed. I put down a drop cloth to protect the quilt, and then I spray baste in here. This room gives you a good sense of why it's really hard to take pictures. The windows are very small. They are 8 by 18, and the walls are very dark, so that contrast makes it really hard to get good lighting, which is why I'm doing videos, because you get a better sense of what's going on. So over here around this corner, hi, there's me in the mirror. We have another shelf unit where we store our shoes, and one of the shelves also has fabric in it. So these are the rest of my fat quarters sorted by color. And again, those are these boxes are, they're about twice the size of a shoe box. You can see compared to the shoes how big they are. So it's not a lot of storage, but it's plenty for me. And then through this door, this is my husband's workspace. And then back around this corner heads into the engine room of the boat. And in there is the washer and dryer, and I will show you that when we are stopped. Right now we are underway, and it's very noisy in there. Okay, and here's the final stop on the tour, which is the engine room. Inside the engine room is where the washer dryer lives, And our boat is unusual in that the engine room is actually tall enough that you can stand up inside, at least in this part here. And that really makes it easy to use the washer dryer. Here's the engine. The engine's name is Larry. Larry the Lugger. We love him. The other thing that I do in the engine room is I don't always use the dryer. Sometimes I hang the clothes up to dry and the quilts, and that's what these long blue lines are. They're my clothesline, and it works really well because the engine is putting out a lot of heat even long after we've stopped. So it's about 100 degrees in here, just nice and toasty, and dries quilts up really fast. And then I only have to pop them in the dryer for a couple of minutes to get the stiffness out, and that works really well for us. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour of my little boat quilting studio. I appreciate all the questions and comments that you leave on my blog. I love being part of the supportive quilting online community. And if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. And I'll see you out in the blogging world.